The air trembled with sound. It isn't just the roar of the winged beast above, nor the guttural shriek of the leonbird monstrosity that crouched with trelanced beard. It was something deeper, something that seemed to shiver the bones of the human who stood between them. Lieutenant Eric Whalen had faced gunfire, artillery barges, and the cogging silence of deep space void. But never this. Before him stretched an alien valley, carved by waterfalls that fell like silver threads from jagged cliffs. The ground shimmered with crystalline flowers that pulsed with an eerie, azure light, and yet none of that wonder mattered, because two titans had cleaned this place. One, a scaled leviathan with wings broad enough to eclipse the morning sun, breath spilling out in kiles of vapor, as glowing with molten rays. The other, a griffin-shaped giant, fur and feathers rippling like living bronzy, claws scraping stone as if the world itself were prey. And between them, humanity, a single knight in shining metal. Not real steel, though HIS armor gleamed like IT. Meti was charbonche at het allies, woven with nanity circuitry, built to withstand plasma bursts and kinetic strikes. HIS shield bore a golden lion, not a symbol of nobility, but of defiance. The lion was Yard's crest in this campaign, a declaration to every alien we endure. Eric raised HIS blade. Caramant, he whispered into HIS comes, though the air burned with static. Contact HFY. Not with diplomats. With monster stir. The griffin roared, the dragon screamed, and the ground cricket beneath their weight. The knights but slid across maslick stone as shockwaves rippled outward. He realized, with a sinking weight in which is good, that this wasn't just a battle between beasts. It was a trial. A test. And humanity had walked straight into the arena. The valley froze into silence. The griffin screeched appeared into a uncertain growl. Even the waterfowl seemed muted, as though the world itself bent to hear what the winged titan had uttered. Arid's gauntleted hand tightened on HIS sword. HIS visual sensors scrambled the sound, searching for structure, phonetics, anything. What HIS ears heard was thunder wrapped in fire, but beneath the noise, the AI in HIS helm whispered. Translation. Mortal, WHY do you wear the leon's mark? Arid's heart lurched. HIS armor served as Homet as he took one step forward, shield angled, sword steady. He had faced alien diplomats, cold and sterile in orbital stations. He had bartered with traders in white markets where a slip of the tongue meant a knife in the ribs. But this, a beast that spake, its words stirring with the cadence of ancient judgment. That was beyond all doctrine. The griffin hissed, its wings fanning, big snapping at the dragon's words. It too seemed to understand, answering in a guttural bellow that the AI barely grasped. He is unworthy. Which is kind of thieves of stars too. Arid's breath quickened inside HIS helm. The shield's lion crest gleamed as morning light struck IT. Suddenly, he realized this wasn't chance. These titans knew of humanity. Or worse, humanity had been expected. The dragon lowered its head, steam pluming from its nostrils. Its voice thundered again, but slower now, as if chiseling words into stone. The last time you kind walked this valley, fire rained from the sky. Do you come again to conquer? Eric swallowed hard, voicing HIS, voice steady as he activated external speakers. Now, he said, HIS voice echoing through the alien valley. We come to survive touch. For a heartbeat, silence hung between the three. Then, the griffin lunged there. The griffin struck like a thunderbolt. Arid swiftly he screamed, armor servers amplifying HIS disparity pivot. HIS shield met the monster's lance with an impact that rattled HIS bones. Sparks burst. Metal shrieked. He dug HIS boots into the earth as the force shoved him back across mass-lit stone. The dragon's roar towered across the valley, not in anger, in warning. Its wings snapped open, hurling gales that bent flowers and shook crystal spires. Do not slay him yet, Iengekin. The utmost be tasted too. The griffin snarled, pressing harder, its beak snapping inches from Arich's helm. The AI frantically parsed fragments of meaning, stitching together fragments, unworthy, vragili, pretenderto. Arich's arm trembled but did not buckle. He pushed back, shield raised, sword angling toward the griffin's throat. This isn't conquest, Eric growled, VCIS voice amplified through the helm. It's survival. Humanity fights not for dominion, but to prove it belongs among giants too. The griffin froze. Its golden eyes locked onto him, burning with ancient fury. Ken, with striving swiftness, it leaped back. Wings thundered. The dragons hit hard, fangs gleaming like molten swords. Ken proof it, mortal. Stunned. Bleed. Yendurik. A challenge. The griffin wheeled overhead, shrieking, while the dragons circled to the right. They quivered with their combatant might. Hit from the dragon's breath colliding with icy wind stirred by the griffin's wings. Eric knew at once, this was no random attack. This was initiation. Humanity's first contact was not words, it was trial. He planted VCIS boots, raised VCIS shield, and whispered a single command to VCIS armor. Avir drivitoek. The HUD Fort Crimson. Power surged through VCIS veins. The Night of Earth prepared to fight titans. The air split with the sound of wings. The griffin plunged from the heavens, their lance outstretched, eyes blazing like suns. At the same instant, the dragon's chest heaved, scales glowing as it exhaled a torrent of fire so bright it painted the sky crimson. Eric hit only a heartbeat. VCIS AI screamed to warnings across the HUD. Thermal speaky, Vatal within 2-3 seconds. Aerial vector incoming at 180 km/h. 2 predators, 1 streaky. No escape. But Eric hasn't breathed for escape. He slammed VCIS boots into the earth, voice raw inside VCIS helmet. Split charge. Redirect power to shield and servo brace. The armor a bit. VCIS shield bloomed with an energy barrier. A translucent lens hit roaring across its face. Hit hammered it. A furnace wind that blackened the ground and melted nearby flowers into glass. From above, the griffin struck. Its lance tore into the shield, screeching against plasma fields. Sparks and fire met in a storm of chaos. Eric roared back. The knight pushed forward through a flame and claw, sword swinging upward. Steel met fetters. The griffin screamed, wheeling through with a shell cut tracing its flank. The dragon's fire faltered, not in defeat, but in assessment. Its eyes, vast as storm clouds, narrowed. He injured stoic. The griffin landed heavily, wings mantled, blood dripping onto the crystalline soil. It stared at Eric, not with rage, but with resignation. Eric staggered, shield smacking, armor glowing red with heat damage. Inside, VCIS body trembled, lungs burning. But he refused to kneel. I told you, he respect through VCIS cricket visor. Humanity isn't bored toy. The griffin tilted its head, feathers ruffling. The dragon's breath caroled into smoke, less fire, more thought. The valley was silent, except for Arich's ragged breathing. He realized then, he had not just survived there. He had spoken in the only language the titans respected. The language of struggle. The dragons had descended, scales glowing faintly with heat. Its breath was a furnace wind that rippled the grass, yet its jaws did not open to consume. Instead, the vast beast's voice rumbled low, heavy enough to vibrate Arich's bones. He dies not flee. He dies not shatter. He bleeds, but he stands too. The griffin circled closer, wings folding tight. Its golden eyes, moments ago blazing with fury, now studied Eric with something far older, curiosity, and a grudging respect. Eric's weight on HIS feet, every nerve screamed, but HIS shield was still raised. Smake caroled from the edges, the lion sigil feeding. HIS armors AI whispered faintly. Structural integrity, 32%. Energy reserves, critical to E. Yet he stood upright. Humanity's symbol would, not fall. The dragon's gaze caught into him like the weight of mountains. You are not the first to trespass upon this valley, mortal. Otter's game, merchants of steel, vessels of light, warriors of worlds long extinguished. They sought dominion. They sought treasure. They sought star. The griffin's feathers rippled with the memory of battle. Its skirt wing caught the light, proof of augurs of defiance. The dragon's voice deepened, the ground trembling with every syllable. But Noni endured the oath. Noni bled whisper presto. Eric forced HIS voice past cricket lips. Can test me again. Test all of us. Humanity doesn't ask for conquest. We ask for the right to stand among you two. The griffin let out a la, birging CROI. Not a anger, agreement. The dragon's jaws parted, smake curling like secret incense. Can hear our oath, child of earth. If you a kind would stand among titans, you must walk the path of flame and sky. One trial is survival. The next is sacrifice to. The griffin's head laughed until its beak nearly touched Aric's breastplate. Will humanity give blood not only for itself, but for the worlds it dares to join? Aric's chest heaved there. HIS body screamed for rest. But HIS voice caught sharp and clear. We already have to. The valley shuddered. The Titan's silence was not dismissal. It was acknowledgement. For the first time, Eric realized, this wasn't a duel. It was a covenant. The dragon's great wings unfurled, blotting out the fractured light of the valley. Shadows swept across the crystalline ground, plunging the battlefield into a twilight that felt older than stars. The griffin lowered its head, and the valley itself seemed to hush, every breath of wind, every echo of fire, waiting. The dragon's voice came like a storm roaring across mountains. Survival proves your flesh. Defiance proves your spirit. But neither alone earns you a place among us. To stand among titans, humanity must bear the weight of sacrifice. Not for self, not for glory, but for all to. Aric's jaw tightened. He had vowed with every drop of strength, but he understood. This moment was not about strength. It was about choice. The griffin stepped closer. Its talons gurgled deep lines into the earth as it stared into HIS eyes. The oath sealed not by blood spilled in rage, but by blood given freely to. Aric's armor flickered warnings. Critical reserves. Neural strain. Collapse imminent. HIS AI urged a retreat, but retreat was no longer an option. He looked up at these beings, creatures of flame and wing who had judged the civilizations and seen them fail, and he thought of earth. The laughter of children under fragile skies. The voices of soldiers who never see home. The way humanity had always clawed forward, refusing extinction, refusing silence. If a price had to be paid, then humanity would pay it. Slowly, Eric once had HIS blade. He reversed the grip, pressing the point to HIS on chest plate. HIS voice, cricket but steady, carried into the valley. I bleed not for myself, but for the right of humanity to walk beside you. If sacrifice is the measure, then let mine be the first to. He drove the blade inward. Metal creaked, sparks flew, and pain roared through HIS body like fire. HIS knees buckled, blood staining the fractured crystal ground. HIS vision blurred, but HIS eyes never left the dragons. The valley shook. The dragon reared back, not in triumph, but in solemn acknowledgement. Fire rolled from its chest, not destruction, but warmth. It poured across Eric like a second sun, closing the wound. knitting flesh with unbearable heat that became healing. The griffin spread its wings wide, feathers glowing with gold light. Mighty let out a CROI that split the sky, not of battle, but of recognition. The dragon's head laughed, until its colossal brow touched the earth before Eric. So it is written. Humanity has given what none before dared. Blood offered not for conquest, but for kinship. Rise, Eric of Earth. Rise, voice of your kind to. The wound upon which is chest sealed, leaving a scorch that burnt like living flame. Which is armor, once broken, who met with renewed energy, reforged by forces beyond human science. The griffin bent its wings in a story older than language. One life can carry many. One sacrifice can open the sky to. Eric rose shakily, the blood still drying on which is chest plate. He realized he hadn't been spread. He had been claimed. That real was not just survival. It was the first band. As the valley filled with the thunder of wings and the hiss of fire, Eric understood the truth. Humanity's place among titans had begun not with conquest, but with sacrifice. And this was only the first step. Pajar end of chapter 1 Pajar. Hook for chapter 2. The titans reveal the next real. Humanity must face not only the judgment of beasts and flame, but the scrutiny of alien civilizations who see mankind's rise as a threat. The galaxy is watching, and not all are willing to accept humanity's new covenant.